For me, the most transformative habit in my life was reading. When I started reading, my mind completely changed and many areas of my life improved. Every book I read and apply what I learn makes my life even better. Now I can't imagine my life without books. But to be honest, it wasn't always like this. A few years ago, I hated reading and found books boring and tiresome. Perhaps you can relate to this situation. I believe that the main reason for my initial aversion to reading was the conditioning I received in my education. In school, I was forced to read books that did not interest me and that I could not see how they could benefit my life directly. This caused me to associate reading with a high cost and little benefit, creating an aversion to it. But I realized that this idea was nonsense and decided to give books a second chance. I thought about how wonderful it would be to be able to converse with the most brilliant minds in history and realized that books allowed me to do just that. They allow me to immerse myself in the thoughts and experiences of inspiring people, some who changed the world and whom I would never have the chance to meet in person. An author may have spent years, or even a lifetime, studying and researching hard to write a book. And you have the privilege of absorbing all this knowledge in a short period of time. This is the amazing power of books, to allow you to live several lives in addition to your own. Based on ideas from some valuable books I have read, I can show you how we can create the habit of reading in 3 simple steps. The first step is to find out why I want to read. Instead of thinking of it as an obligation, I must nurture my desire to read and ask myself why it is important to me. I can do this by writing down all the benefits I can imagine getting from books on a sheet of paper. Some of these benefits might include learning secrets to accumulating wealth, increasing my productivity, living better and being healthier, enhancing my relationships, and finding a path to peace and happiness in my life. There are a multitude of benefits in books. According to Nietzsche, he who has a strong why can endure anyhow. It is important that I also think about the cost of inaction. If I don't start reading, I may not get all the benefits that books can give me and may even face more problems in life. So it is important for me to put these problems on paper to remind myself of the importance of cultivating the habit of reading. The more pleasure I associate with the habit of reading and the more pain I associate with the idea of not reading, the stronger my desire for books will be. After discovering why I want to read, I can choose which books will help me achieve these goals. In addition, I can use my imagination and visualize how amazing my life would be by achieving these benefits with the help of reading. I leave this list somewhere that I can easily see it every day and remember to feed my mind with these feelings whenever possible. After cultivating my strong desire to create the habit of reading, I need to understand how habits work. I learned from the book The Power of Habit that habits are formed by a cycle of 3 interconnected steps: the cue, the routine, and the reward. To create the habit of reading books, I need to establish a clear and effective cue, which can be learned from other sources, such as the book The Challenges to Willpower. I understood that willpower is limited, like a battery, and I need to use it wisely to get the maximum benefit from it. So by setting a powerful cue to read books, I can ensure that I will have enough energy to make it a routine, until it becomes natural in my life. In the book, The Miracle of the Morning, I learned that the first hours of the day have a great impact on the rest of the day, and consequently on our lives in the long run. Therefore, it is important to create the habit of reading first thing in the morning, when we have more control over our time. To establish the ideal trigger for morning reading, I can create a combination, set a specific time for reading and create a visual trigger linked to another habit that I already have and brings me pleasure. For example, if I make coffee every morning, I can leave the book next to the coffee pot so that when I make coffee I automatically pick up the book and start reading. In this way, it is not possible to forget to read and I do it in a natural and pleasurable way. Finally, it is important to establish a reward for yourself after completing the desired reading habit. This reward can be immediate, such as the satisfaction of marking the habit as completed on a habit management app or allowing yourself to eat a piece of chocolate after reading. You can also create a goal, such as reading for 30 days in a row to give yourself a trip to the movies as a gift. The key is to learn to work with the mind, creating a good reward that generates the desire to repeat the routine, strengthening the habit and the connection with the cue. In this way, the reading habit becomes more enjoyable and easier to maintain. Now we come to one of the most powerful tools, the mini-habits. Mini-habits are a powerful tool for developing skills and changing one's routine. Many people end up failing to implement habits because they try to start with very ambitious goals, which can lead to discouragement, procrastination, and even abandonment of the goal. The solution is to reduce the desired habit to such a small size that it is practically impossible not to accomplish it. For example, instead of trying to read 20 pages right away, create the habit of reading only 2 pages or even 1 page. Even though it may seem small, it is much more effective than wanting to read 20 pages and ending up reading none of them. With mini-habits, it is possible to create a lasting habit and feel a sense of accomplishment, with a reward immediately upon completion of the goal. Moreover, it is possible to accumulate small achievements and, in the long run, achieve great results. For example, with the habit of reading just 2 pages a day, a person can read more than 700 pages in a year, which is far above the Brazilian average. Besides the mini-habits, there is an even more effective strategy to make them part of the routine, the principle of the next step, described in the book, The Magic of Thinking Big. This strategy consists in asking yourself if it is possible to take one more step after completing the daily goal, in this case, reading just 1 more page. Then, after this additional reading, ask again if it is possible to do 1 more, and so on, until a break point is reached. This technique helps to establish a new pattern of behavior and to create a sense of progression and constant overcoming. However, one must keep in mind that the daily goal of just reading 2 pages is already a significant advance, and the most important thing is to always accomplish the established mission. The principle of the next step should be seen as an added bonus, to make the habit even more effective. Anyway, follow this guide, create the habit of reading, and your life will never be the same again. If you think this content helped you in any way, enjoy the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with a friend who needs to follow these tips. I am sure they will thank you. Thank you for watching.